Imagine, if you will, a time long ago when humanity first glimpsed the impossible, another world beyond our own. Not just any world, but one teeming with beings of unfathomable power and alien intelligence. The price of this discovery was steep. Countless brave souls ventured into this other world, never to return. Their silence spoke volumes, and soon, the mere act of crossing over was forbidden. This mysterious realm earned a chilling name, the Demon Realm, a one-way journey into the unknown. As research stagnated and hope dwindled, one man dared to think differently. Enter Raymond Sajas, a sorcerer whose name would be forever etched in history, though not for the reasons he might have hoped. Instead of reaching into the abyss, he devised a way to draw its denizens into our world. But Sajas's breakthrough came at a terrible cost. The demons demanded a horrific price for their cooperation, living sacrifices from our world. In those dark days, sorcerers, privileged and untouchable, turned to the brutal practice of sacrificing slaves who lacked magical abilities. Even then, the cost in both lives and gold was staggering. Yet Sajas persisted, driven by an obsession that would ultimately lead to catastrophe. When he finally succeeded in his first summoning, he called forth an entity of terrifying majesty, Geldam, an archdemon whose very presence seemed to distort reality. Through countless conversations, Sajas uncovered disturbing truths about the demon realm and its god, Laris, a deity of absolute, twisted freedom that stood in stark opposition to everything our world held sacred. Unlike our gods, Laris embraced resurrection and chaos, caring nothing for the natural order. But the true horror was yet to come. When rival sorcerers threatened Sajas's work, Geldam offered a bargain: freedom from the binding circle in exchange for protection. Desperate and already seduced by Laris's teachings, Sajas accepted, a decision that would doom our world. The moment the circle broke, so did Geldam's facade of servitude. With a smile that haunts our nightmares to this day, the archdemon struck down his former master, unleashing an army of demons upon an unsuspecting world. Sajas's last realization was that Geldam had never been bound by anything but choice, a disciple of Laris's twisted teachings until the very end. As Sajas's research spread like wildfire, demons began appearing worldwide. Their influence grew, corrupting minds with whispers of unlimited freedom. Even now, their disciples walk among us, hidden but ever present, waiting for their chance to unleash chaos in the name of their mad god. Remember this warning. If you hear someone speak of absolute freedom, be wary. They might be more than human, and their promise of liberation may well be a chain that binds us all to destruction. Demons are aliens from another reality. Since the first summoning of Geldam, they have wreaked havoc and sow their corrupting influence all over Raxia in service of their mad god. These beings possess immense physical prowess, cunning intellect, and various supernatural abilities. In Raxia, they lack soul scars and actively seek world domination in pursuit of their own twisted sense of absolute freedom, utter chaos. In Forcelia, they serve their dark god, Phalaris, and maintain a hierarchical society. No one can truly understand demons, as their true nature and motivations remain shrouded in mystery. Their actions seem to defy conventional logic, driven by forces beyond mortal comprehension. Agents of chaos for some and servants for others represent a profound enigma that continues to challenge scholars and magic users alike. From lesser demons, whose might equals that of entire military units, to the legendary Demon King whose power rivals that of ancient gods themselves, demons form a strict hierarchy of devastation. Even the weakest among them pose a threat that few mortals can face alone. Some seek to harness their power, warlocks chief among them. Through carefully crafted pacts and rituals, these practitioners channel demonic energy to enhance their own abilities. Yet such power comes at a terrible price, for demons are masters of deception and betrayal. At the northern edge of Alframe lies the Abyss, a massive tear in reality that serves as a gateway between worlds. From this gaping wound in the fabric of space, hordes of demons have poured forth throughout history, leaving devastation in their wake. It all started during the late ancient magic civilization period, when ambitious wizard kings conducted what would become known as the world's greatest summoning. Their hubris in attempting to harness such immense power would prove catastrophic, as the ritual tore open a permanent gateway to the demon world. The consequences of this fateful act would echo through the centuries, forever changing the face of Alframe. Smaller tiers, known as shallow abysses, appear throughout the continent like malignant wounds, each one a potential doorway for these otherworldly horrors. Unlike the Great Abyss, these tiers are unpredictable, manifesting without warning wherever the barrier between worlds grows thin. Local communities live in constant vigilance, for a shallow abyss can transform overnight from a mere spatial anomaly into a gateway for untold horrors. The presence of these rifts has necessitated the creation of specialized guardians and warning systems throughout Alframe's settlements. The struggle against these entities has shaped the very history of Raxia. From the fall of the magic civilization to the present day, countless heroes and entire organizations have dedicated themselves to containing the demonic threat. Yet still they come, drawn by our world's vitality, forever seeking to corrupt and destroy all they touch. In Forcelia, demons also pose a constant threat to the world's stability. Like their Raxian counterparts, they serve as agents of dark powers, particularly the evil god Phalaris, and have been responsible for numerous catastrophic events, including the devastating Demon War in Lodoss. The Demon War in Lodoss stands as one of the most catastrophic conflicts in the region's history. It began when Duke Brooke of Skard made the fatal mistake of releasing the Demon King from an ancient seal, only to be immediately betrayed and killed. The war that followed saw demons laying waste to human settlements and even destroying the Stone Kingdom of the dwarves. The conflict was marked by the presence of powerful demon generals who could level entire cities and doppelgangers who infiltrated noble houses to sow chaos from within. Only through the combined efforts of legendary heroes, particularly the red-haired mercenary Beld, who defeated several demon generals, was the tide of the war finally turned, and the demonic invasion halted. There is someone, a god in the demon realm, a god that all demons pray to, a god promising absolute freedom. They allow their followers to act on their desires, whatever those desires might be, no matter how dark or how mad they might seem to be. A god that is feared and abhorred by humans, elves, dwarves, goblins, dragons, and even other gods. What is their name? It depends on where you ask. In Raxia, this god is known as Laris, the mad god. In Forcelia, Phalaris, the dark god. Two names, one being. A deity that transcends worlds, promising freedom without bounds, yet bringing only chaos and corruption to those who follow their twisted path. While it was only strongly alluded to, there is almost no doubt that Laris and Phalaris are the same entity. The consistency in their doctrines, followers, names, and fundamental nature across different worlds is too striking to be coincidental. This divine being, whether called Laris or Phalaris, represents a singular force of unbridled chaos that manifests across the boundaries of reality itself, and it governs or lives in the demon realm. In Raxia, it is considered a major god, but ever present on all continents, with its followers hiding in secret, while in Forcelia, it has only one officially recognized temple in the Kingdom of Fandria, though its followers exist throughout other lands in hiding. Despite these differences in public presence, the god's fundamental nature and impact on both worlds remain consistent. Where they appear, death and destruction will follow. An alien world. The other world. The demon realm. This place beckoned countless mages and scholars in both Raxia and Forcelia. Despite the dangers and mysteries surrounding it, many were drawn to study this realm, hoping to unlock its secrets and harness its power. The allure of otherworldly knowledge and the potential for unprecedented magical discoveries proved too tempting to resist. Yet for most who dared to delve too deeply into its mysteries, the price was often devastating. Not a lot is known about the demon world, but still few facts are clear. First, it exists as a material world separate from both Raxia and Forcelia, with its own physical features like mountains and forests. Second, it is inhabited primarily by demons who form a hierarchical society and follow the dark mad god Phalaris, or Laris. Third, while the realm can be accessed through certain gateways like the Abyss, its chaotic nature and hostile environment make it essentially impossible for humans to survive there. Bodies of demons in Raxia and Forcelia seem to be only temporary vessels or manifestations, while their true forms exist in their home realm. This explains why they can be summoned repeatedly, and why their death in the material worlds doesn't mean permanent destruction. The demon realm thus serves not just as their origin point, but as an anchor for their very existence. Also, those few that returned from the demon realm can say that time flows differently there, with distortions that can make minutes stretch into hours or days in the material world. The very fabric of reality seems unstable, constantly shifting and warping like a perpetual storm. This temporal chaos, combined with the realm's inherently hostile nature, makes it one of the most dangerous places any mortal could venture into. And there are even those who have crossed the demon realm to appear in another world. The mysterious grass runners are perhaps the most famous example, though their true nature and origin remain subjects of debate among scholars. It is clear that grass runners appeared in Raxia from Forcelia, traversing through the demon realm. This unique transit through the demon realm raises intriguing questions about its potential role as a bridge between worlds, though the extreme dangers make any deliberate attempts at such crossings virtually suicidal. The realm's nature as an intersection point between different realities might explain its chaotic and unstable characteristics, as it exists at the convergence of multiple worlds. However, this remains largely theoretical, as few scholars have survived to document such metaphysical observations. If you want to learn more about demons, check the Abyss Breaker supplement for Sword World 2.5, as well as the Forcelia World Guide for Sword World RPG. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Leave your thoughts about demons in the comments below. Also, check out our other videos about the Sword World.